Well, it wouldn't be El Chavo Jr. without some chop. What is going on, guys? We are back with another video, and here we are starting off in the shop. Well, we're talking about the GT500 today. Now, we had a little bit of a week delay of time. We lost power, there's a big hurricane, there's some trees down. Lost the branch. Got power, got Wi-Fi, we got everything back situated. Got some cars to get done. I got an S550 on the rack, got that Cobra I'm finishing up. But today we're just gonna go ahead and go over the rotating assembly that we got for the 5.8 build. And I'm also gonna drop off the cylinder heads along with the rotating assembly at Advanced Cylinder Heads. I think they're in like Longwood or Winter Garden or something like that. I'm gonna drop that off so we can get the rotating assembly balanced, because the rotating assembly is a little bit heavier than stock, and we want to make sure that's all balanced up and good to go. So if you missed it, this car, we bought it, it smoked, pulled the motor out, now we're doing a motor build. The problem was actually not rings or valve seals. It turns out it was some cylinder pressure sensor probes that were installed into the head that basically eventually caused a leak of oil from the head to the combustion chamber, and therefore smoky. So yeah, interesting one. And this car is a early production Ford corporate owned in 2012 car up until I think 2013. And for some reason they left the sensors in there. So, and what I also found out is the rubber tubes in the heads were so the wires could run up and out. So yeah, interesting. So we're gonna take a look at all that, and I'm gonna show you the whole rotating assembly setup here. Okay, so right here we have the 5.8 block. I didn't pull the crank out when we tore it all down. It spins nice and smooth, so I wasn't really concerned about any issues on the main bearings. Rod bearings looked pretty good, other than what I could see was kind of some detonation ghost marks, but the crank itself looks solid. Over here, we have a bunch of goodies. So let's just go over it real quick. Kinetic head gaskets is what I use on pretty much every build. They work really well. No real major problems there. They're not too expensive. They're not too cheap, but they do the job. We got some ARP head studs. We got ARP main and side bolts. We got some King stock size bearings, so mains and rods. We have some Molnar power adder rods. These are the same rods that we actually ran in El Chapo. We made 1,350 wheel horsepower on these. Went ahead and picked up a fresh set of these. These are gonna get balanced for the rotating assembly. So yeah, all 8 rods right there. So then the other question you might be asking is, what are you gonna run for a piston? Well, we have some Wiseco pistons. These are from Modular Head Shop. It's actually a little hard to find a in-stock 5.8 piston, but right here we have a 5.8 stock bore. This is gonna be a 10.5-to-1 compression. It's got the coating on top, looks pretty good. So that's what we're gonna be running in this, a little 10.5-to-1 compression. The car's probably gonna make some pretty good power. And I think right now we're just gonna run the Trinity. So that should be pretty sweet. This one also comes with the rings. So it comes with the rings, and I think it also comes with the wrist pins. Yep. So there's the wrist pins. They're all packaged up. I'm gonna leave all this packaged up. But yeah, check out those pistons. Look good. Stock bore. We did that because I'm not sleeving this. I'm not going for 1,300 horsepower. But if we see 4-digit horsepower numbers down the line, I'm not gonna be mad. So yeah, that is most of what we got here. You know, so we got the piston, the rod, the ARP. The only thing we are missing is the most important thing. Can you guess it? Well, it wouldn't be El Chavo Jr. without some chop. We have a set of Todd Warren NSR cams on the way. I'm pretty excited about it. cams and the GT500 built motor, it just goes one and one together. Could have saved considerable amount of money not doing cams, but we're doing cams. So the car's gonna have a nice chop NSR, so we're not gonna have to do the springs and, you know, basically build all the heads. It's kind of where you get really, really expensive into these builds. Not that this is a budget build, but I'm trying to stay responsible, but also, you know, do what we need to do to have fun with it and make some good power, but also not so that it's, you know, 2,000 horsepower ready and we go, you know, make crazy power. You know, 1,000 wheel horsepower, I mean, to me, 1,000 wheel horsepower is not that crazy. I find that you can keep a 1,000 wheel horsepower car together for a long time. You don't have to count your passes. You know, similar 700 horsepower car, that's pretty low horsepower. You can keep it together for a long time. So that's kind of the goal here, is to not have a race car engine, is to have a stronger than stock engine that makes choppy noises. Okay, so right here, there's one thing I forgot, and some of you guys are gonna be like, what the heck are you doing, Andrew? But we got a fresh set of stock Ford OEM GT500 chain guides, chains, secondaries, basically the whole shebang. We're doing stock chains, and that might sound crazy. You might be saying, well, you're gonna snap some chains, this, that. Look, the idea here, you can spend $3,000–$4,000 on chains, just timing chains. So we're gonna go with the stock stuff. It's what we're running on Cody's car. We made 940 wheel with Cody's car. And I think that this is still gonna be pretty reliable. You start going crazy aftermarket and it's a rabbit hole. You gotta stop yourself somewhere. You know, spend the money on the right parts, the rods, the pistons, but yeah, I mean, you guys will find out. If I'm crazy and I snap a chain and bust up my motor, hey, you saw it here first. But I really don't think we're in that neighborhood. I don't plan to be bashing the rev limiter like that car. You know, we'll see how it goes. All right, so we got the truck loaded down with parts, heads, crank, basically everything but the block. We're gonna get that dropped off, get the rotating assembly balanced, and get the heads fixed up. I don't know if we're gonna film anything there or not. I'd like to ask what they think of the cylinder pressure sensors in the head. At this point, I've talked to enough people now that we've pretty much narrowed down that the car was a Ford corporate-owned car. At least for the first 1.5 or 2 years of ownership. So May 2012 to, I think it was like November 2014. And I can verify that on the Carfax. So Ford corporate owned, and then it was used for some sort of testing, which is interesting. I looked at the calibration, I didn't really see anything too different, so I don't know what's going on with there. But essentially there was little cylinder pressure sensors that went into the head, and what that rubber plastic tube is that's so the wires could run through the cylinder head without getting caught in the cams and, you know, springs and rocker arms and everything like that. Then those wires would run out around the head. That's why the intake manifold fits, so they run around the head and then to whatever equipment they have. They would do this to build the calibration for the car. So, you know, trying to run into your cylinder pressure limit. Funny enough, there's actually a table for that, and it's kind of like a max spark. You know, but essentially they were able to play around with spark values and maybe even cams to achieve the 662 horsepower that they'll warranty, you know, on a car. So that's most likely what the heads and the sensors and what that all was. As to why it was left on the car, I have some theories, but you know, either way, right now, what we're gonna do, we're gonna build this motor, we're gonna build a nice fun street car, and we're gonna make sure it doesn't smoke anymore, and we don't need those sensors. Okay, we are here. All right, guys, so we got back from Advanced Cylinder Head earlier, and we got everything dropped off. So definitely stay tuned for the GT500 build. I'm very excited to get this car back on the road. We got a little taste of driving it, but very excited to get that back on the road. Now, if you missed it, FL2K, we got, well, kind of the win. We split the pot because the event got canceled because of the rain, but we made it to the finals, and we actually were top qualifier. We got the trophy, cash. If you guys missed that video, it was fun. It was wild. We pushed through some problems, if that gives you any sort of hint. And we made it. We are getting ready for Mod Nationals. That's coming up very, very soon with the stick shift GT500. If you guys have missed anything on that car is insane. It's very fast for a stick shift car. And I'm excited to get out to race it more. We got the Kenny Bell 2.2 Cobra. That thing's pretty sweet. And yeah, so check out the recent videos and let me know what you guys want to see here in the future. We'll obviously have some more content, but Mod Nationals coming up. That's going to be the grind. We're going to get the car ready. Got a few things to change on it, and we'll be out there soon. So make sure you hit the like button down below, leave a comment, let us know what you think, and we'll see you guys in the next one.